गया सबका? Settled? अच्छा, now suffer my poetry. So I will do one thing for you. प्यार वाली कविता आपने सुनी, मैं आपको एक आपके जनरेशन की, मेरे जनरेशन की एक प्यार वाली कविता सुनाता हूँ. इसका नाम है लिटरिंग. लिटरिंग इसका और स्वच्छ भारत अभियान का कुछ लेना देना है नहीं. What plane did you come by? Was I looking up into the sky when you passed over my head? When you, oblivious to me, when I, unaware of you, looked out our windows, months, years before we finally met. Before you invited me home, still to pack suitcases. It took me a while to learn that no house ever rooted itself into your bones, that leaving never tore behind any flesh, that you were always a traveling lady, a nomadic lover. You left scraps of affection everywhere your feet landed. You kept stubs of tickets, wrappers of candy, plastic of bouquets in your bag. You preferred throwing such in designated bins. But you never thought twice before littering your love around towns, cities, countries. Woke traveler, you switched off ACs to save the world. But you made bonfires out of beating hearts. You left a trail of smoking lips. What carbon footprint did you care for again? Thank you. I've got another one. How many of you have been to a mall? Don't lie. All of us have been to a mall. This one is related to malls. Let's say that. It's called Sunday. The first part is a little pedantic, a little academic, but it gets better after that. Sunday. On the 7th day of the week, when the god of erstwhile masters rests after having created a whole world, 3 religions and circumcision, flocks of believers go to new temples that espouse mass-manufactured weekend principles. ये थोड़ा complicated है, इसके आगे easy होगा. Anybody of you who has heard the biblical term, God created the world in 6 days, and on the 7th day He rested. Sunday. On the 7th day of the week, when the god of erstwhile masters rests after having created a whole world, 3 religions and circumcision, legions of believers flock new temples that espouse mass-manufactured weekend principles. The sun is still groggy, not even up yet, and already gay teenage fantasies are securing the premises of the mall. In the interest of everyone involved, you are greeted with a namaste and a few non-consensual gropes by strangers in polyester uniform clothes. They really want to save the throngs from cigarette lighters. Meanwhile, basement parking lots check if your car has space in its boot or in its engine half for those delinquent bombs that hitched a ride with you but refused to sit right next to you for fear of, I don't know, paying the parking charges maybe? Once you have stood long enough in lines to acquiesce these gods of entry points, you are greeted by an air-conditioned daydream of coffee fresheners and bubblegum songs. Here, plastic greenery and a chemical blue sky, blackboards of Devanagari childhoods and cheap glasses of cutting chai masquerade as authentic outdoor stalls. The only difference between the two? Well, service charge, GST, 3 extra zeros, and of course, me and you. You step out of these coffee-steeped walls, try to weave your way across the din of an entire city trying to congregate within the glass mall. Here, hordes have descended to pay obeisance to their weekday lives, the classic lie of 9-to-5s. They recreate the mindless mobs of Dadar station every day in office uniforms, but today in uniform fashions. Families spend quality time with babies in rented prams, and hours spent honking in traffic jams, shopping bags in every hand, meals in plastic plates, and every week such plastic plans. Each time I go to a mall over the weekend, I remember why I don't. Last one. Okay, cool. for all people who want to make a difference to the world, seeing whatever is happening, this, that. This is just what I saw on a trip back home from Mahabaleshwar when I was coming. I saw a stub of a tree, a huge stub of a tree that was, and this one is titled Stub. Zada sa bunda. 3 men sit on a tree stub, wait for the bus. Where earlier all the men of the village gathered around the tree, dipped sunsets in cups of chai, paid for in bulk of months, the chai wala kept impeccable accounts. कौन कौन है जिसका गांव भी है, जो गांव भी जाता है, सिर्फ मुंबई में नहीं है? Can I have a show of hands? People who go गांव, wherever your गांव may be. Cool. So you guys will understand this. 3 men sit on a tree stump, wait for the bus, where earlier all the men of the village gathered around the tree, dipped sunsets in cups of chai, paid for in bulk of months. The chai wala kept impeccable accounts. The men of the village were agarbattis around the shrine of tree. They smoked BDs. Global citizens, they debated economies of the world and fashions of women. Their fingers always smelled of newspaper ink. The men of the village, they planted hierarchies deep around the chauthara of the tree. Baboons, they scratched each other's backs in an unchanging line. The men of the village were bullies. The men of the village were bullied. They wed their children in holy bonds of fuckage. Children who ruled the kingdom of tree in the day when the men of the village toiled in their fields, in their shops, in the village next door, owned their places for the evening under the tree. The slice of shade, buttered in gossip, dipped in tea ignited by matches. That was then. Now, 3 men sit on the stub of the tree, wait for the 21st century to arrive on diesel fumes. The stub is still fresh wound, amputated hand, no fingers reach the sun that has ground this village, turned highway in a forever noon. Children do not play around bleeding flesh. They do not hug phantom trees. Squirrels don't run up and down bus stops. The bus rankles to a halt, drags along a cloud of progress. The country is desperate to step into the future. Like a street urchin, impatient, it flings itself into the race, crawls in from a gap under the fence, promptly steps into a cake of shit on the other side. Thank you.